You push through the trees and suddenly, you stop. Because something is wrong with the jungle in front of you.
The routes are too regular. The mounds are too symmetrical.
The stones beneath the moss are cut. And when you look up a Swarab, really look up a Swarav,
You realize the tree you are standing next to is not growing out of the ground. It is growing out of a wall. A wall that is taller than your house. A wall that is part of something so enormous you cannot see where it ends. You take another step forward, then another, and the jungle opens up in front of you like a curtain being pulled back from a stage.
And there it is, Angkor.
You are standing in the largest religious monument ever built on the surface of the earth, Angkor Wat.
Arranged in a pattern that mirrors the peaks of Mount Meru, the home of the gods in Hindu cosmology. The central tower is over 200 feet tall. The outer wall encloses a space of nearly 500 acres. The moat surrounding it is 3 miles long.
And this single temple is not even the whole city. It is one structure inside a civilization that
And was home to nearly 1 million people. Let that settle. 1 million people.
in the 12th century, in the middle of Southeast Asian jungle, when most European cities had a few thousand residents.
A functioning, sophisticated, mind-bendingly complex urban civilization, hidden in what the rest of the world would later call
You are not a discoverer. You are a citizen. You were born here. You grew up in the shadow of these towers.
The temple is where you go on festival days, when the priests process along the stone causeways, and the reflecting pools
And the whole city seems to hold its breath together for a moment before the drums start.
They were always tall. They were always there. They will always be there. This is what you believe.
The Khmer Empire has ruled this corner of the world for 500 years. The God Kings.
Every temple was a statement about the nature of the universe. Every water channel was an act of religious precision as much as engineering.
And the water channels were extraordinary. Angkor's greatness was not just its stone, it was its water.
An intricate city-wide hydraulic system, reservoirs called barrays, channels, moats, canals,
Distributed them across the rice paddies that fed 1 million mouths, regulated them through the dry season so that where other civilizations starved, Angkor flourished.
Water was power here. Water was survival.
Water was the difference between an empire and a memory. You stand by the West Baray on a clear morning, and the reservoir stretches to the horizon.
It is 5 miles long and over 1 mile wide. Human hands dug it.
Human hands shaped every inch of the channels that connect it to the city. Tens of thousands of people worked for decades to build this system.
And it works so well that you have never in your life known what it means to go hungry because of drought. You take the water for granted. Everyone does.
The city is magnificent and loud and permanent. The markets near the south gate sell everything.
The streets are full. The festivals are constant.
The temples are maintained by thousands of priests and dancers and servants and craftsmen. The king's court is the most powerful in Southeast Asia.
Armies march out from Angkor and return with tribute. The empire is not shrinking. The empire is not afraid.
But there are small things. If you pay attention, there are small things. The last dry season was longer than usual.
The water in the channels dropped a little lower than it should have. The rice yield was a little smaller. Prices in the market shifted. Barely, but they shifted.
Some of the maintenance workers at the northern reservoir didn't come back after the season ended. Their villages had problems of their own.
Nobody replaced them. You tell yourself it's temporary. Seasons turn. Workers return. The system holds.
And it does hold. For a while. But in the late 13th century, things begin to change faster than the city can absorb. The trade routes are shifting. The coastal kingdoms to the south have been growing. Ayutthaya, the rising Thai kingdom, is powerful now, drawing merchants who used to come inland to Angkor toward the sea routes instead. The overland wealth that once flowed into the city is beginning to thin. And the wars are more frequent. Not the triumphant campaigns of earlier centuries. Armies marching out and returning laden. The kind of wars that drain a city rather than feed it. In 1431, Ayutthayan forces sack Angkor.
They don't destroy it. They occupy it, take what they want, and leave. But the king moves the capital south.
The court moves, the elite moves, the administrators and the craftsmen who serve the elite and the merchants who serve the administrators, they move. And the hydraulic system, the magnificent beating heart of the city, begins to lose the people who maintained it. This is the quiet catastrophe. Not the sacking, not the political upheaval, the maintenance workers who stop coming, the channels that silt up when nobody clears them, Faye.
Never. The same process that killed Babylon, playing out again in a different jungle, with a different century, with a different empire that
The rice paddies that depend on precise irrigation become unreliable. The farmers who depend on the rice paddies begin to leave.
And when the farmers leave, the markets thin out. And when the markets thin out, the remaining residents have less reason to stay. And somewhere in this slow unraveling, something else happens. The climate shifts, interrupted by sudden catastrophic floods. A hydraulic system built for regular monsoon patterns cannot handle wild swings between extremes. The reservoirs that should be filling are drying out. The channels that should be carrying controlled water are being overwhelmed by floods that
The city doesn't empty overnight. People are stubborn. People love the place they are from.
Traders keep one stall open in a market that used to need 100. There is a particular kind of human endurance that shows up.
But eventually, even the most stubborn leave. And then the jungle, which has been waiting at the edges all along, begins to move.
This is the part that no human witness recorded, because there were no human witnesses.
The roots that begin as thin threads and become, over decades, thick cables that pry stone from them.
The strangler figs that begin as seeds dropped by birds onto the top walls grow.
The jungle did not attack Angkor. The jungle simply continued to be what it had always been. Angkor stopped resisting it.
And so you push through the trees and find a city that has been hidden for 400 years. The temples are still...
The carvings on the walls of Angkor Wat are still there. Thousands of Apsara dancers. The faces on the Bayon Temple's towers. That mysterious, enormous smile carved into stone.
A French naturalist named Henri Mouhot reaches Angkor in 1860 and writes that it
happens. The grandchildren of the people who maintain these temples have no stories about them. The knowledge simply didn't survive the leaving.
Angkor disappeared so completely that the people living in its shadow had no idea what it was. 1 million people, the largest city on Earth for centuries.
And it vanished into the trees so thoroughly that its own descendants walked past its walls without knowing that their ancestors...
But some cities weren't lost in jungles, and they didn't empty slowly over generations. Some were destroyed in...
By a decision made in a palace far away. By a leader who looked at a map and pointed at a city and said, "Not one stone on..."
That story is next.
The jungle conceals more than it reveals. Deep within, a hidden world waits.
Light struggles to penetrate the canopy's embrace. Yet, ancient secrets endure.
Every carving whispers forgotten tales of gods and kings long silent.
To reach this place, one must brave the wild.
The still waters mirror a lost sky, reflecting both memory and oblivion. With each dawn, new light paints ancient stone, revealing scars and timeless beauty. Gateways once grand, now held captive. by roots that redefine permanence.
Generations have passed within its shadow, unknowing of the giants beneath their feet.
Within these forgotten halls, history sleeps, waiting for a new awakening.
The Empire's reach, still breathtaking, a testament to boundless ambition.
Only the birds bear witness now to a silent, green dominion. Paths once trod by millions now vanish, consumed by nature's relentless march. The lifeblood of Angkor, its water. First neglected, then lost. The fields that fed an empire withered, driving its people to new lands.
The vibrant markets grew silent, their chatter replaced by wind.
The powerful court, once a beacon, abandoned its ancient heart.
The climate's unpredictable fury arrived, shattering a delicate balance.
Reservoirs, once saviors, became threats. Overwhelmed beyond human repair. Even as the city faded, hearts remained. A defiant flicker of faith.
The craft of generations put down. Silence replaced the chisel's song. The grand festivals dwindled to memory, their meaning slowly forgotten. The stone faces still smile, witnesses to an unseen fall. The jungle became the new guardian, veiling what it now protects. Nature's palette repainted every surface, erasing names, but not presence. Water, giver of life, became taker of stone. The slow, relentless crumble. Behind every wall, another secret sleeps. In this vast, green labyrinth, bridges to prosperity, now to nowhere. Silent witnesses to decline.
The monsoons still come, wild and untamed, no longer harnessed, but endured.
Stone dancers weep silent tears for a world that forgot their grace.
A million souls, a vibrant empire, swallowed by the forest's breath.
Only fragments remain, in whispers and stone, a history patiently rediscovered. The jungle held its secret close. For centuries, a verdant shroud.
From a bustling capital to a forgotten wonder, its story etched in stone and leaf.
Time's relentless passage, unheeded. Only stone remembers all.
Every detail, a legacy fading, yielding to the embrace of ages. Life continues its delicate dance around the echoes of empire. As twilight falls upon the stone, a new mystery descends.
Under the gaze of the moon,
Angkor's ghost still reigns.
Today, its secret is revealed. A wonder for a new age.
The very stones scream permanence, defying fleeting human will.
The bounty of water, then its cruel absence. A lesson etched in earth.
Angkor stands, a testament to time's embrace.